Good morning. My name is Mary Fisher-Nassib, and I'm the co-founder of Sow Good Now, an organization that inspires youth to share their time, their talent, and treasures through the sports they love. Our mission is to jumpstart the philanthropic learning curve through sports. What is philanthropy? Does anyone understand what is philanthropy? What does it mean to you?
Helping out the community.
How about to you, Riley? What's philanthropy to you?
Donating money.
Okay. Ola, what do you think of philanthropy?
Giving back, whether it be in time or monetary funds.
Whether it be in time or
Or
monetary
monetary.
funds? Great, yes.
Like honestly,
Tiffany?
exactly, word for word, but maybe like specifically giving back to something bigger, like bigger than yourself.
Bigger than yourself, right? What do you expect in return?
No.
Nothing, right? That's the true part. So that to me is what philanthropy is all about too. Is finding a place for what's in here to give to others to take place, and we have a big problem. So what traditionally happens is donors arrive late in life and they don't have a good understanding about giving, right? They haven't had enough time to practice it. Most of their giving throughout their lifetime has been reactionary. They hear about a disaster, a flood, a hurricane, and they give. Or they give to the Red Cross, and every year they write the Red Cross the same check. We don't even know what the Red Cross is even doing these days. They've just done it for 30 years, and their parents have done it. So it's very reactionary and not strategic and not fluid. Then there's another big problem. As soon as they start figuring it out, they pass away, right? Because they started late. And there's unmet need still in the world that hasn't found the resources to be helped. But this slide is so exciting. If you have not seen this slide before, you're going to be very excited about what's taking place because you're all part of it. This number right here, $35.97 trillion. It's trillions of dollars that are changing hands. They're moving from one generation, right? 2007 to 2061, we're right in the middle of it. This money is moving into younger people's hands because those old donors are passing away. And we've got to get ready. And like any good athlete, you see the play before it unfolds. So this is the play that's unfolding. I'm asking you all to think like athletes. Start thinking about how you're going to get to the next level. What do these sports have to do with it? Not prepared, right? We have this. We need a new generation of young citizens to feed the urgent need for moral hunger. How are we going to do that? 3 out of 4 American families with school-age children have at least one playing in an organized sport. It's 45 million kids. 2018, Swarthmore University study showed that 77% of college students want to volunteer, but only 26% do because they can't find an opportunity to do so. Resources are being wasted. People want to help. There's just not any of the connective pieces. So what do? We create a platform. We build our own platform? No, we use the platform that's in place. 45 million in youth sporting groups that's our infrastructure. The coaches already email the players, the parents already get the kids there. They already are used to working as a team and leveraging their unique talents to build a winning team. So, but how do we get them to listen, right? How do we get those kids to listen? How do we get them to care? And this is where we do our work. We get high character, high performing athletes to give back. And then we get them to lead them and practice in the conversation. I've been trying to tell people about doing good for a long time. I have a son who played football for Penn State, and he won all these awards. And he was asked to go to Texas and visit a children's hospital with some other players, college players, and they put their jerseys on. And we walked into the pediatric ward of MD Anderson. And when my son and this other teammate walked into a room, the parents and the kids all popped out of their beds. Their hair was sticking up straight, right? They were smiling, they were happy. And I said, gosh, that's a platform. People are going to listen to these people, not me, to them. So we built this, right? And guess what's in their hearts? They want to give back. They just haven't had a place or a person or a thing to tell them it's okay. Except for people like Carl who happen to get that award and happen to fly to MD Anderson, happen to experience. So how do we build on that? How do we get all of these kids to bubble up, to start becoming philanthropists at an earlier age, so that they don't end up like that first slide, just figuring it out when they have time in retirement? So the other thing is, it's pretty stagnant the way that people give now, right? Everything's done behind closed doors. But when you teach philanthropy through sports, the high-performing players are role models, just like we talked about. But this is really the part that we see is pivotal in helping young people identify as philanthropists. When you put them in a sport where they excel, they feel more confident. So they're willing to take steps that they may not take outside of their sport. People recognize them as good performers on the field, so the fact that you offer to help in another way makes the recipient more willing to listen. This is a really cool model that we've developed. These athletes, obviously, they graduate and they have wealth. So when they're younger, they learn about sharing their time, their talent, and their treasure. But now they're 33, got a great job in technology. She knows what it's like to be the captain of a volleyball team at a Division I school. She says, I want to be part of Sow Good Now, right? She sees a post, I want to do what you're doing. Well, what do you want to do? Well, I don't know. What are you doing? Well, we run clinics, and we also we help you identify your philanthropic passion and your mission in life, and we ask you to bring younger players along with you on your journey. So Sarah, she's a volleyball player. She opens up a donor advised fund for $5,000. She commits to doing 4 years of clinics at her college, where the college partners with 5 grade schools. The 5 grade schools come to the gym. Their give back is to evaluate nonprofits that serve the homeless. And how does that help Sarah, right? She has the money, she has the reputation, she has the ability to get this clinic off the ground. She doesn't have the time to research all of the organizations. So the teachers and the schools and the parents research 3 organizations that serve the homeless, and together as one community in a very active and dynamic environment, they gift a donation to keep the heat on, which helps people stay in their houses because they can pay their heating bills. This is old, right? This is how you do it. You say every year, I'm going to give 10% to these organizations. My father gave to Easter Seals. I'm going to give to Easter Seals. I'm going to give to the United Way. The wealth advisors, they're like, well, you're too young to worry about philanthropy. That's what you do when you're 70. Well, we say that doesn't make any sense. We say this should be interactive. It should be a powerful team of people built together, sharing their time, their talent, their treasure, and then you match them with these wealth advisors. And you say, hey, we're out here, and we're doing philanthropic things, and we're going to find ways to fund them ourselves. You can join us, or you can keep doing it the traditional way. So we tested it, right? We wanted to make sure that we're having impact on all the different levels. This is a camp attendee. He came to our swim clinic where high school swimmers shared what they did. They're in the pool, weeks and months on end. And he said that he was going to take forward his ability to use goggles and tread water in the summer camp that he gets sponsored to during the summer. We gave a football player, Division I football player, the chance to say, I'm a philanthropist. I'm going to help you guys. I'm going to come here and I'm going to tell the other players that I'm a philanthropist and I'm going to give back. And it felt good. We have a donor who just set out. She thought she wanted to do one thing, but as she got into it, she found out I wanted to do something else. So she built her team about philanthropic giving. This is what it looks like. If you don't know the Philanthropic Initiative, you should probably read about it. A lot of research, a lot of information about this movement that we talked about, starting in 2007. Here's what happens. How many people live past 90? So everyone in here that needs help doesn't get the help in the traditional model. Right here, we elevate it by the age of 40. We have 40 years to give back. And if you think about it, you see this right here? 30 years ago, this building wasn't here. Because somebody was philanthropic. That's why all of us are here today, right? Dr. Caruso had a vision. And if we share that type of vision with all of the teams, those millions of children out there at sports, we're gonna really make a big impact in 30 years. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to really think back on the teams that you've been involved in. And I'd like you to think back about maybe a time someone helped you or you helped someone else. And I'd like you to join our organization next year in some capacity, whether it's just coming to a clinic, whether it's saying, hey, my nephew is the best soccer player on the East Coast and I think that we should build a clinic around him. But most importantly, I think that what you should do is say, I need a place for the passion inside me to grow. When I was in high school, I was the 6th of 12 kids. Freshman year, my parents bought me a pair of sneakers from JCPenney. I wore them for basketball, I wore them for volleyball, and then I wore them for track. One day, I was said, hey, you're gonna be a sprinter. And I got into the blocks, and I started to propel out of the blocks. Anybody here ever run track? Well, sprinters, you have to propel out of the blocks. And the sneakers I had weren't gripping. And I didn't even notice, but the other sprinters had spikes in their shoes. And one day, and I was just happy to be part of the team, one day I met my first philanthropist, and a tap on the shoulder, his name was Jose Moreno. He said, hey Mary, do you want these? And there were a pair of spikes. He said, I grew out of them, I think they're your size. I got the 100-yard dash record that I held at my school for 25 years. That's a really good example of how kids can give back and change the trajectory of other people's lives. Simple as that. And we create a place for things like that to happen, starting now for Sow Good Now. So again, happy to have you all become part of our team, and thanks for the opportunity.